Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda ki jai, Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali ki jai, Kol Kartel ki jai, Sri Harinama Sankirtan ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. So, welcome everybody to our regular Sunday afternoon discussion and broadcast from the East London chapter Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And as previously, we're currently going through the books of our founder Acharya Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakab Sri Dadev Goswami Maharaj. And we're currently going through the Centenary Anthology, which was published for Srila Guru Maharaj's 100th birthday, appearance day. And mainly some history in the beginning and also some talks from His Divine Grace transcribed into the chapters of this book. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, that's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hold it there, but... Hare Krishna. Okay, let's see if I can zip it up a little bit more. Hare Krishna. Is that better? Can you? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
The last bit was okay.
Last bit.
Hare Rama.
Okay.
The other one's slightly softer.
All right, well, that's about as good as we're going to get, I think, today. So, we did start this chapter last week, but I think it's good to start from the beginning again. This is chapter 5, the guide. So someone asked Guru Maharaj, I want to inquire as to how to recognize Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Guru Maharaj's reply. We receive confirmation from our heart's approval, our inner approval. We must trace it to there because that took me to my Guru. Guru is all in all. But who took me to my Guru? It was my inner sentiment, my inner guide. I didn't like anything else in the environment, but instead selected that advice. Many others do not care to come here, and many may ridicule this life. But what made me come here? I cannot deprecate that internal approval, consciousness, and sincerity. Therefore, this is an important factor. And ultimately, we have to depend on that internal consciousness the most. When collecting advice from the scriptures and when seeking or relying on advice from a sadhu, the only thing that takes me there is my internal approval, my inner friend. If it were not for that, I would not have come. Indeed, so many others do not come. So who has taken me to this plane? Nahi kalyana krit kaschid durgatim tatagachati. From Bhagavad Gita. One who sincerely wants real good can never be deceived. When one is a real seeker of the truth, he can never be deceived. Krishna says, my dear boy, one who is sincerely hankering after the truth can never come across misfortune. If apparently some misfortune comes, to visit him along the way. That is, to enhance his position for his improvement. As though they say, everything will be all right in the end. You know, it's a common saying, everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, then it's not the end. Some sort of danger may come on our way, but if we are sincere, it will be as a test to us, and when we will overcome that, it will be an addition to our glory. The temptations will be rejected and disarmed, but they will plead for us again. So sincerity, sincere hankering after the truth, is needed if we are to go further, and that is made of sukriti, the grace of the divine agents, who by their nature are wandering throughout this cursed land to help others who may not even know they're being helped. Question. So what are Shravandas and Barandas? Shravandas, Guru Maharaj replying, Shravandas is when one is satisfied by first hearing the philosophy, teachings, etc. during probationary life. When one is satisfied with Shravan, he then comes to accept a guide, a guru, and that is the stage of Barandas. He has this mood. Now I am prepared to take formal admission in this line and accept you as my leader. Now, whatever you say I must obey. That is Barandas. At first there is acceptance of the clan, such as Christianity, Mohammedanism, etc., to which someone has been introduced. After first accepting a creed, if a person will be selected who will be able to satisfy me according to the principles of that creed, he will be able to give me the desired end of life. He is Guru. First the creed is accepted, then the guide. Then beyond Varandas begins Sadhandas. Sadhandas is the third stage, and it means to follow the practices under the guidance of our Guru. By following that, we shall gain some realization and attain a tangible position. Excuse me. Yes, I feel that what was in the words and propaganda is now in my heart. My heart feels its touch, and that stage is called prapandas. Only after being thus established is one able to also distribute such things to others, and that stage is called apandas. Without being established in prapandas, only with the help of someone who is established there can we go to preach. Questioner says, are there 5 stages? Shravan, Baran and Sadhan are within this camp. Then comes prapan, the tangible feeling, the position of oneself, experiencing the thing, attainment. First, we come in touch with that reality. Then we become established in that real plane, and then we shall be able to distribute it to others. Apan. Question. When we have inner conviction, are we then safe? Also, does the external Guru help us to connect the Chaitanya Guru, the internal Guru? Srila Guru Maharaj. The external Guru, the Mahanta Guru, not only helps us to contact the Chaitanya Guru, but he helps to prepare us so we can infallibly read the direction of the Chaitanya Guru. At first, in a raw way, we may receive direction from the Chaitanya Guru, and that draws us to the Mahanta Guru. With the help of the Chaitanya Guru, we come to the Mahanta Guru. The Chaitanya Guru helps us in a raw way, in a general way, which is not very systematic and clear. Coming to the Mahanta Guru, we feel, yes, with the help of my Chaitanya Guru, my internal hankering has now been satisfied. Then with the help of our Mahanta Guru, we come to find that clear direction in our Chaitanya Guru. They are helping one another. By the help of the Mahanta Guru, our ability to read the Chaitanya Guru becomes more clear and more skillfully developed. Our reading of the innate Chaitanya Guru becomes more clear, and we become cleansed of the different thoughts and ideas mixed up from yogis, jnanis, karmis, and so many other different sections. The Chaitanya Guru will give us more adherence to the Mahanta Guru, and in this way they each help the other. After receiving help from the Chaitya Guru, we come to the Mahanta Guru. But sometimes it may also happen that after accepting a Mahanta Guru, the Chaitya Guru again becomes covered. The Mahanta Guru will then take the disciple and help him cleanse the dirt that has covered his Chaitya Guru. The Chaitya Guru may become buried by some anartha or some Vaishnava aparad, but the Mahanta Guru will come to give relief. Sometimes many may join the mission and then later go away, but the Guru does not allow them to easily leave. He tries his best to bring them back again and to a firm understanding. Why have you gone away? In order to search for other things? The desire for money and the attainment of free mixing with the ladies disturbed me and drew me away. If the Mahanta Guru is genuine, he will say that these particular desires should be removed. They are not the real objectives. For the good of the disciple, he will explain the temporary nature of any conception and connection with such things, and how minor they are, and again try to reinstate him. Some dirt may enter someone, but by the grace of the Guru, the dirt will be cleansed in no time, and he will be returned to the real path. Don't disturb yourself with these little tiny filthy things. Don't go away in this way. Many immature and unfit persons may join the mission, so it is not impossible that some sort of anarthas may come again to attack. It is like a fight. Sometimes one party gains ground, and sometimes that same party is losing. And ultimately, the real party will win the battle. It is a battle. In everyone's heart there will be a battle, because we are sadhakas, not siddhas. We are not fully realized souls, but we are following the process to realization. Sometimes the devotees may feel defeated, and sometimes may even go mad, but on the whole they shall have to make progress. Therefore some sort of consideration and generosity should be allowed. We should think that we are in a hospital where there are so many diseased persons. This is not a place where all the healthy people live. That is not possible. We are also patients, and there are so many other patients, and patients are of different types. Some may even die, and some may have a relapse, but ignoring all these facts, with real interest for our own benefit, our own health, I must go on with the help of a doctor. Take his help by following the proper prescribed medicine and diet. I will be cured. Just because so many others are getting worse or dying does not mean that my own health must also deteriorate. Another example is that in a school, all may not pass the exam. Many will fail, but still a determined student must go on. We should not be discouraged from following the path of our eternal benefit just because of some unsuccessful candidates. I should not be cowed down by seeing this. I must be wakeful to the fact that this is my vital and only interest. I cannot just leave and go away. Everyone may go, but I must fight single-handed with the enemy. All may fly away, but because this is my vital interest, I will stay and fight single-handed with self-determination. Why? Because I have already understood and realized this to be my vital interest. So I cannot go back. If even once we find this to be deeply rooted within our heart, such determined resolve must come from within. We will find this to be the very thing that we were searching after. Question. So can a patient also become a doctor? Guru Maharaj. Yes. When he is fully cured, has studied about medicine and has undergone the necessary education of a doctor, he may become a doctor. It is necessary to be qualified and also appointed. You see, first of all, it is necessary to be qualified. Then, by the appointment of the higher administration, you can become a doctor in the hospital. You may engage in private practice if you are qualified, but to become a doctor in the hospital, you must have some sanction from above. In this way, a sadhu can give assistance in several ways, but the acharya holding a big position should have sanction from above, and that is prapanadas. Question: who will decide whether the patient is qualified to be a doctor? Guru Maharaj: external sanction is not necessary by letter, but he is to be already awake and fixed in the internal world. Inspiration will come from the internal world. The people are suffering, and you have the medicine. You should distribute the medicine to the patients. This may be seen in a dream, but while awake also, internal inspiration will come to you. And because you know the medicine, and you know the symptoms of the disease, irresistibly you will advance to help the patients. You have the medicine, and you cannot but engage yourself in treating them. You will see this more clearly than daylight, more really than this world of experience. People are suffering, but you have the medicine. You used that medicine and you were cured. Now you find another to be suffering from the same disease. You have the cure in your hand, so why should you not apply it? What explanation do you have not to do so? It will not be for making money that you will give that medicine, not for fame, but it will be due to the internal urge to help them. And you will find that the noble predecessors have also asked you to do so. Jare deka tare kaha Krishna upadesh, amara agaya guru han tara edesh. This, of course, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed, whoever you meet, try to rescue them by talking to them about Krishna. If there is a ditch and you see a man about to blindly fall into it, will you not try to save him? It's a natural feeling. Why is it when it is plain, so very plain, then it will happen. But you don't help him, then you will be responsible. This common sense may be applied, but we must be sincere. The danger is that we must not be motivated by money, fame, or any worldly gain. Karna, kamani, and pratishta are the three main disturbing elements that misguide us and draw us from this side to that. But when we are free from them, the street we walk shall be broad and clear. God is good, and you will like to see everything becoming good by getting God. God is good and God is great. When that superior type of thinking will be clear to you, all your activities will be controlled only by that one principle of life. And with that you will be going on helping others with the firm faith that this must be given to all. This is very tasteful. Please come to a safe position away from the danger zone and you will become happy. The tasteful medicine will make people happy, and if that is actually in your possession, you cannot but feel the urge within to help others. With real knowledge, all the general questions such as where we are to go, how to go, and why we should go are to be solved in order to help others. Ki ami, kene amaya jar tapa traya. Also from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Sanatan Goswami inquiring from Mahaprabhu. Who am I? Why am I troubled? And how can I achieve my desired end? These fundamental problems should be solved. And if you have the solution, you must give it to others. My friends, come and solve your problems. This will be the mentality of a preacher and found very intensely in an acharya. Question. Someone may have a sincere urge, but he may not be completely aware of the danger, and he himself may become infected. Guru Maharaj. The proper path follows a fine strategy. With the help of a higher agent he may approach, otherwise not. Without the help of a higher agent, he will be nowhere, he will be lost. When he goes to cure a patient, if he will not be able to cure him, then the patient's germs will attack him, and he will also die with the patient. In that case, he won't be of any help, and should not approach. He should inform the higher doctor and ask for better medicine to help his serious patient. In the case of doubt that with my meager medicine and meager instruments I may not be able to cure this patient, one should not venture to approach the patient, but instead he will appeal to the doctor of a higher position. This is very reasonable. Following Mahaprabhu's advice to help others, still it may be found in rare cases that the doctor approaches with a good heart to cure the patient, but he himself dies. It is also not impossible, but not desirable. When an organized party approaches for relief work, some soldiers may be sacrificed before obtaining victory. The victorious party will also have to incur some loss when fighting with the enemy. Similarly, in the mission, some soldiers may be asked to approach the rich men and the women. Therefore, sometimes some may be lost, but their loss will be for the time being, and again they will come back. We expect them to come back, but again become one. We expect them to come back again, because once someone has a taste, he will not be able to forget that. Nehabi krama nasho sti pratya vayo navidyate shvalpamapyasha dharmaya trayate mahato bhavat. Bhagavad Gita 2:40. Whatever has been acquired is eternal. It cannot be destroyed. Kunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. Also from the Gita. The assurance is given by Krishna. Even if he has come to me only for the time being, he has taken some medicine before leaving, so he ultimately must come to me again. So what do we think? That chapter is called The Guide.
Yeah, you said in the when the burst circumstance comes and a lot of trouble and this and that actually comes to enhance the devotee's position. Does that happen to yourself?
What can I say? It depends. I mean, not just to me, but to everybody. Some difficulty must come in the life of a devotee. If there's no difficulty, then it means we're not doing the right thing, you know. If you, as soon as you try to preach, opposition must come to you. Always. This is just inevitable. So, and if no opposition comes to you, then that means you're not properly expressing your Krishna consciousness. So, yes, we can say, you know, that Guru Maharaj said, a devotee's life will be a diet of dal and gall. Meaning, the devotees, they eat simple food, like dal, and they will also have to digest the gall of others or the abuse of others. So that happens as soon as you put your head above the parapet. Someone's going to try and shoot it, isn't it? You know, like when you're in the fort and the invaders are coming outside. As long as you're below the parapet, no problem. The arrows can't get to you. But when you take your bow and you put your head above, someone's going to try and shoot at it. So, yeah, that happens, and we have to try to adjust to that. Try to adjust to the opposition of that. And it must happen. There must be. Guru Maharaj says, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he said, you can just sit in your home and take Harinam, no problem will come to you. But as soon as you try to assert the Krishna conception in the world, then difficulty must come, opposition must come. Because this is Maya's world, and she doesn't want to very easily let everybody go. If it were that easy, you just stand in the street and say, everyone chant Hare Krishna, everyone would chant Hare Krishna, and, we'd be in Vaikuntha. But it's not that easy, because along with every positive wave, there's also a negative wave. In other words, Srila Guru Maharaj sometimes would say, where the sun shines brightest, the shadow is always darkest. So, then it's just natural that when you make some attempt to serve, some attempt to spread Krishna consciousness in whatever way you may be able to do according to your capacity, then some opposition must come to you. And in your own life, many things will happen to make you stronger. And we have seen many things in our own life, my own life. Why? To make you question your faith. Guru Maharaj said, in the absence of my guru, should I want to live a peaceful life? And he says, no. If you're a genuine disciple, then some disturbance must come to you. Some opposition must come to you, because he said it's like, he gives the example of when a swordsmith makes a sword. He says he takes the metal and he has to beat it, and then he plunge it into fire, and then when it comes out and you put it in the water, then the metal's forged, it becomes stronger. Then he has to do it again, beat the metal, put it in the fire, beat it, put it in the water. And the expert swordsmith knows that the more times he does that, the stronger the sword, the metal of the sword will become. So he said, now, in the absence of our guru, then the question must arise in every devotee: is what I've learned from him, is this actually part of me, or is it just lip deep? I'm just making a proclamation, but do I really have faith in what he said, or is it just a lip deep proclamation? So the test will come, and Guru Maharaj says, not everyone can pass that test, but those who do, their faith will be forged like steel. It will become indomitable. So it is necessary for us to go through that fire, that testing of our faith, testing of our resolve. Now, testing of our faith doesn't just mean that we cling on to our identification. Yes, I'm a devotee of Krishna. Not that, but is it real? Is it real? Anyone can say I'm this or I'm that or whatever, Prabhupada used to say that's just a rubber stamp, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Vaishnava, it's the same thing, right? It's just a rubber stamp. So we're not interested in rubber stamps, we're interested in reality. And so that test will come in the life of every devotee, sooner or later, and maybe many times until we're able to pass that test. Is this really part of you, or is it just a superficial acknowledgement, superficial proclamation of faith?
I think opposition comes, this is what I think, comes because we are only individual, so thinking differently. So that's how it comes, because different idea comes, maybe spiritual or material, and that's why people want to say, oh, this is what I think, and that's how opposition comes up.
Yeah, the opposition may come in many ways, but it must come. Otherwise, there's no meaning, right? We know so many people in the time of Gurudev came here and took initiation. Where are those people? Where are they? You know, you can count on maybe 2 hands. Who's still around and serving, and you know, like most of them come and then they go. Oh, I tried it out for some time, didn't work for me. You know, wasn't for me. You know, okay, fine, all right, off you go. But so that's normal. That's normal. You know, that many, like Guru Maharaj said, many may sign up. But you know, when somebody asked Guru Maharaj, why do we see so many devotees leaving? And Guru Maharaj said, it's not an easy thing to give your whole life for the service of Krishna. It's not so easy to do that. And in Krishna consciousness, you can't remain still. You either have to be going forward or fall back. There is no, you know, you can't just be as you are. You must
People
progress.
fall and then again they can come back.
Of course, yeah, that's what Guru Maharaj says. We are expecting they will come back, because before they left, they took some medicine. So that's already there. It's already, you know, awoken within them. But something comes to cover that. Some you can say sanskar or something inside that person. Oh, I want to do this, or I want to do that, or you know, I thought I would be able to do this thing or that thing, or you know, whatever it might be. Some people misunderstand what Krishna consciousness is about. We see this like so many people, disciples, especially of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they don't understand what he came to give. They think that we have to establish Varnashram Dharma or something like that. This is what Prabhupada came to. This is not what Prabhupada came to give. Because Varnashram Dharma is rejected by Mahaprabhu as being superficial. Yes, Prabhupada did try to institute some kind, as called Daivi Varnashram, some within his society. You know, he has to find something for people to do. You know, you have to have something to do. That was what John Lennon said in one song. He said, hey, Hare Krishna, I've got nothing on you. You just keep me crazy with nothing to do. Preoccupied with your pie in the sky. There ain't no guru who can see through your eyes. Very bitter man, John Lennon. But I understand that, right? I can understand that. Some people think, oh, if you Hare Krishna, there's nothing for you to do. What are you going to do in your life? You know. Then you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't go to parties, you don't. What do you do in your life? You know.
And you're not getting anything for yourself.
Yeah, so that's you're not. There's nothing like. What's the benefit for you in this? So didn't understand.
Because you know, devotee knows what they are getting.
Yeah, but more than that, what Prabhupada came to give, what all the Vaishnava Acharyas have come to give, is to re-establish us in our original position as servants of Krishna, and that's it. We are to become servants. We're not to spend our life trying to prove that women have smaller brains, or whatever they think that Krishna consciousness is about. It's not about those things. It's about becoming a servant of God. And Prabhupada says that like so many times. If your religion is teaching you how to love God, then that's perfect religion. So, really what you do in your day-to-day life isn't as important as what you aspire for. So Guru Maharaj said, we judge a man by his ideal in life. If his ideal is high, then we consider him to be a higher thinking person. Most people just want to go along with the rat race, doing everything that everybody else does, and not even thinking about what life is. They rather find life to be so painful that at every chance they have to take some intoxication to try and, soften the blow. see that all the time, right? Anyone has some difficulty in their life, they go to the bottle. And everyone seems to have bottles in their house. That's what they do. Get home at night, first thing they do, oh, it was a hard day at work tonight, I have a gin and tonic, oh, now I'm feeling a bit, but taking the edge off it, This is what people think life is about. And it proves that everybody knows that this life is suffering because they want to mitigate that suffering by taking some kind of anesthetic, which is what it is, right? Alcohol or drugs or whatever it is. It dumbs your response to the world, just like, what does the song go? Become comfortably numb. That's what they say. And how was your weekend? Oh, it was great. Went to this party. Can't remember anything at all. That's what people say, right? I can't remember a thing. It must have been really great. Then that's sadly. I mean, okay, it changes when you get older. That's like when you're young, usually. But still, later on, even in life, people don't know anything else. They don't know what else they're meant to do with their life, except do their 9 to 5, get themselves a mortgage, get a nice house, get a nice car, get a bigger TV, then get a bigger house and a bigger car, and and they think these are the things that we should be aspiring for in life. But and when things get rough, a bit of anesthetic to, it'll pass. Everyone knows that, right? Whatever it is, it'll pass. Right? This is not a way to live. This isn't really living. It's awful. But, so sometimes a devotee may be drawn back into that kind of life, They find it too difficult to practice spiritual life. And then they're drawn back into their previous life. But I can tell you, I think that in the main, once somebody's been a devotee, they can't enjoy those things anymore like they used to. Those things that used to give them pleasure before, they may do it, but in the back of their mind, they know, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And then eventually, maybe in this life, maybe in another life, they come back. Because Guru Maharaj is saying, that until we come to the stage of prapan, means like surrendering ourselves, then everything we do must be a bit painful. Our sadhana bhakti, this chanting, sitting down and chanting and doing all these, there's some pain there to do that. We don't like to do it. We'd rather do something else, rather put on the TV or rather, look at your phone. I just see people chanting their japa while looking at their phone, at the same time, or watching the TV or whatever it might be.
But many people who left, they have come back.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because they experience, this is not really I want.
So that's what Guru Maharaj is saying, that sometimes something comes in your life and you have to face that. And the result is you come back with your faith stronger than before. Something that maybe seems to be, against devotion, against spiritual life. That may be something that you have to experience in your life. Get it out of your system to understand, no, this isn't what life is. And sometimes that's so strong, you can't leave it, you can't leave it. You can say, we have our plans, don't we? We have our ideas. Even as devotees, we'll make some arrangement, and in the future we'll be able to live a peaceful life and, be, in our dotage, just chant Hare Krishna, no disturbance or anything like that, So some people make some arrangement for that. And some people have some ambition that they want to fulfill. So I had this idea, as you all know, that if I open a vegetarian restaurant, that will give me some occupation, and we'll be able to support the mission with the profits from that. That was my idea. Didn't quite work out like that,
You tried.
I tried, yeah, but I never made any profit, and we only ever made enough money to open up the next day again. we paid our staff, we could restock but I couldn't pay myself, and my business partner, he couldn't pay himself. So, that can only go on for so long. But as far as like funding the temple, that is impossible. We're just nowhere near making that kind of money. To do that, really, we'd have had to become like McDonald's or, like a big chain of restaurants or something. Anyway, finally, I couldn't keep the restaurant open anymore. 2.5 years we made that restaurant. And finally, I had to close it. And after closing it, I went to see Gurudev. He was in Russia. I went to see him in Russia, and I, just traveled around with him for a little while. And in Russia, we were in Bharati Maharaj's house, and Gurudev was talking, and he asked me, "Oh, how are things, with you? What's going on, in London?" And I said, "Oh, I had to close the restaurant, Maharaj, And he said, "Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. What happened?" And I explained, we weren't making enough money, and et cetera, et cetera. And then he said, "I didn't want you to make that restaurant. I didn't want you to do that." And I said, "Oh, Maharaj, why didn't you tell me that, before I embarked on it?" He said, "Because you were so enthusiastic. I didn't want to dampen your enthusiasm. I didn't feel it was right for me to do that." And I said, "Oh, okay, Maharaj." But then he said, "But that isn't your dharma. Your dharma is to engage other people to do things like that." I said, "Okay, Maharaj." So he knew that was something in me that I had to get out of my system, something that I thought I could do. And, in many ways it was a success. I have to say it was the happiest time of my working life, but it just wasn't a success financially. It was a success in many other ways, but not financially. And crucially, that was the objective, to be a financial success. Couldn't do it. So, okay. Still, if I'm honest, there's a little part of me that says, if I got the opportunity, I might do it again. But I do it in a different way. And this time it would be successful. I can't see that Krishna's going to give me the facility to do that again. I had some money in those days and was able to do it.
Sometimes I think Rupa Goswami was sitting under the tree when the king was passing.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly, yeah, that's right.
And the king thinks, "Oh, I can give this thing to Rupa Goswami. He's under the tree sitting there in the rain and all that."
Right.
And suddenly he sees all
Gems falling in the rain to Rupa Goswami's lotus feet. Yeah, I was thinking that I will be the savior of our London mission if I do this, the person who made it all happen, But in the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wants to open a temple in Calcutta. Now, they had a rented house, Altadunga Road, a rented house, and they had deities installed there and service going on and preaching going on and so on. But he wants to build a proper temple there, right, to Krishna and Mahaprabhu. Then he told his disciples, "You make a party to go to door in Calcutta." Calcutta, predominantly Hindu people living in Calcutta. Calcutta's like London, right? It's almost, maybe bigger than London, I don't know. It's as big as London, probably. Or was at least at one time. London just keeps, getting bigger and bigger. But so his idea was, right, ask each Hindu family to donate 2 rupees. If we said to here, go door to door and ask everyone to give £2, and everyone who lived in London gave £2, we'd have enough to build a big temple, wouldn't we, to do that? So this was his idea. Go door to door, ask every Hindu family to contribute 2 rupees. Of course, 2 rupees was worth a lot more in the 1930s than it is today. But nevertheless, so then his idea was, we'll raise 1 lakh of rupees will be enough to build a temple. So this idea was proposed to all the devotees. And he had one disciple who lived in Calcutta. His name was Jagat Bandhu, Bhakti Ranjan. And he was a very wealthy man. So when he heard Saraswat Thakur wants to raise 1 lakh of rupees to build this temple, he came forward. He came forward and he gave Saraswat Thakur 3 lakhs of rupees. And of course, then he was the hero. All the devotees loved him. He's the hero. He gave Guru Maharaj like 3 lakhs. And they did build the Bhag Bazar Gaudiya Math with that money. 3 lakh rupees, big temple. Bhag Bazar Gaudiya Math. It was the flagship temple in Calcutta. So then everyone praising him so much, Jagat Bandhu. So he wrote an article in the Gaudiya, which was their like monthly magazine, the Gaudiya. He wrote this article. And he said, why everybody giving so much praise to me? All I did was the money that I gave to, it was his money anyway. Just somehow Krishna had given it to me, and now I gave it to him. He's the rightful. It's not my money. It's Krishna's money. I gave it to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj made this temple. So what's the big deal? I didn't do anything. I just realized that money is not my money. It's his money. I gave it to him. He built the temple with it. No big deal. So this is how a proper Vaishnava would see this. Give what is in my hand by the grace of Krishna. This is not mine, it's Krishna's. This is a fundamental teaching of Bhagavad Gita. That you can do your duty, but the fruit of that doesn't belong to you. It's not for you, it's for me, Krishna says. I'm the enjoyer of that. And our problem is we think we're the enjoyer of that. I worked for that money, it's my money. And I'll decide what amount I'll give for Krishna's service, what amount I'll keep for me, what amount, etc., etc. But that's wrong thinking, actually. It's wrong thinking. If we cannot understand that fundamental teaching, what will we understand? Not everybody can understand that easily, especially in the Kali Yuga. Because here now everyone wants to take your money. Everyone's plan is to take your money from you. They'll ring you up on the telephone and tell you, we are calling from, Microsoft help desk. We need to install some software on because we saw some suspicious activity on your. And if you go for it, they install something on your computer remotely, and then they take all your money. They just empty your bank account. And everyone wants that. The government wants the money from you. Everybody wants money from you. So, naturally everyone's a little bit guarded about their money. They don't want to give it away. Unfortunately, that means they're a little bit guarded about giving their money for Krishna's service also. But this, Jagabandhu, Prabhu, he said this, I just realized that it's not my money anyway, it's his money. So again, I just gave it to him. It belonged to him anyway. This is our misidentification in this material world. What will we do? We are all going on in our way, and we're thinking, there's no manual to tell us how we should live our life. But there is. It's called Bhagavad Gita. There Krishna gives perfect guidance for everybody. It's not just philosophical, it's not just something to ruminate from your armchair. It's something that you need to put into practice in your life. That's, as Guru Maharaj is saying, that's part of the process. First you hear and you understand philosophically, yes, this is what I should do, and then you do it. So it's not just a matter of hearing and making a repository of that in your brain, as Gurudev would say, studying a Ganges full of scripture. It's meant to actually activate something within you. When Gurudev was in New York some years ago, then he met one very famous devotee from ISKCON, who was considered to be like a very good pandit. And he was coming every day and asking Srila Govinda Maharaj many questions, philosophical questions, and difficult philosophical questions. And Gurudev giving answer to him. Then maybe after 3 or 4 days, Gurudev said to him, Prabhu, those answers, are you satisfied with the answers I've given to your questions? He said, oh Maharaj, so satisfied. I cannot express the kind of feeling I have from the answers you've given. You'll not hear that anywhere. And Gurudev said, okay, but now what will you do with those answers? And he looked at Gurudev a little puzzled. What do you mean? And Gurudev said, I mean, if you are satisfied with my answers, then you must come with me. You must come with me. And he said, oh Maharaj, I don't have any money right now to go travel with you or this or that. But actually that's not what Gurudev meant. He didn't mean like physically come with me. He meant where I'm going, like spiritually, you should also, if you're satisfied with the answers to my questions, you should come there. Where I am spiritually, you should also be there. Otherwise, all these questions, wasting my time. And if you're not doing anything with those answers, then you're wasting your time too. So when we inquire on spiritual matters, we should understand that the answer is meant to activate something within us, to change us who we are, or at least to awaken who we really are within us. Now we are thinking we're this, we're that, we're whatever it is in this material world, but we're not those things. We're not defined by anything in this world. You're not defined by your career. Oh, I'm a doctor, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm this, I'm that. No, that doesn't define who you are. And you're not defined by your family either. Oh, I have my wife and my 10 kids, or that doesn't define who you are either. And all the things that you think that you are in this material world is all misconception. Actually, this is Sanatana Goswami's question to Mahaprabhu. Ki ami? He said, who am I? And why am I suffering in the material world? So much distress in my life, why? And Mahaprabhu said, Jivara Shorupohoi Krishnara Nityadas Krishnara Tatasta Shakti Veda Ved Prakash. This is who you are. Jivara Shorupohoi Nityara Krishna Das. You are a Jiva soul, an individual Jiva soul, and you are the eternal servant of Krishna. And that's not just according to your religious fancy. You remember we went, Srila Gurudev, he gave a lecture at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. And the man wants to introduce him. And he's giving a little thing, Yes, we are all Hindu, but maybe he's a devotee of Shiva, he's a disciple of Ganesh, he's a disciple of this one, that one, this one. And maybe she doesn't believe anything, but all are Hindu. He said, but tonight, because Govinda Maharaj is here, we are all devotee of Krishna. But this is all nonsense, actually. Everyone is a devotee of Krishna. Everyone, every living being, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Sarva Karana Karanam, he's the cause of everything. He's the cause of all the gods too. Then only Krishna. He's the only actual, real God with a capital G. Then,
Demigods as well.
yeah, the demigods are gods with a small g. They're like ministers in the government. This minister in charge of rain, this minister in charge of education. They're jiva souls like us. They're more than us. And if you get their favor, they can give you many things. Like if you know the mayor of Newham, maybe you can get money for your temple. Or whatever it is, you know. But no, at our other temple in Hatton Cross, there the mayor came there. There is what's the council there? Hounslow, yeah, Hounslow Council. So the mayor of Hounslow Council, he visited our temple a few weeks ago, and I was there to meet him. And he said, oh, we'll arrange funding for this, funding for that, or all these things. And he came with his friends who were all like supporters of our mission. And I mean, we haven't seen any funding for this or funding for that yet, but he promised all these things. So the demigods are like that, right? He's like a demigod of Hounslow Council. If the king comes, the first person he sees is the mayor, because the mayor is considered to be the first, resident, the first resident of that community, Hounslow. So he's the principal person there. So, but he's not the king. He may be representing the king or the government or whatever, but he's not that. So the devatas, they're something like that. And actually it is considered, given in the Padma Purana, that to think that all the gods are equal with Krishna is namaparad. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's even the cause of Vishnu Narayan. Also, that is told in the scripture, proven by the scripture. He's not just the 8th avatar of Vishnu. He's the cause of Vishnu. And we can prove that by scripture. We can prove that. But, so why was I saying that? So Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, you are eternal servant of Krishna. It's not saying you, Sanatan, but he might be eternal servant of this one or that. No. Everyone is the eternal servant of Krishna. Krishnara Nityadas. Krishnara Tatasta Shakti Veda Ved Prakash. Krishnara Tatasta Shakti, that means you are as a jiva Tatasta Shakti. Tatasta means marginal. Your nature is a marginal living being. You have come out from the marginal energy of Krishna. So that means you can adapt to the material world or you can go to the spiritual world. Either is possible for you as a Tatasta Jiva. And Guru Maharaj gives this example to explain what is Tatasta. Excuse me. In the scripture it's told, like where the ocean meets the shore. It's not exactly the land, it's not exactly the water, it's between the two. But for our understanding, Guru Maharaj gives a very simple but nice example. He says, in 1947, when there was the partition of India, so there used to be West Bengal, East Bengal. East Bengal became Bangladesh, right? So at that time, they made like an arbitrary border. This side of the border is Bangladesh. This side of the border, West Bengal, India. But some people, that border went straight through their house. So their living room is in Bangladesh, their bedroom is in Bengal. So for those people, and there were quite a few, those people, they were given a dual passport. They can go Bangladesh, they can go India. They can be either at the same time. So Guru Maharaj said, this is tatastha. You can go to the spiritual world or you can go to the material world. You have adaptability to either. Dual passport. This is tatastha. Krishnera tatastha shakti, Beda Bed Prakash. Beda Bed means you are one with Krishna because you are made of the same spiritual element that he is. But at the same time, different from Krishna. Beda, Abeda. Same and different. And why you're different? Because he is infinite and you are infinitesimal. He is always the master, you are always the servant. And you can say, everything in this material world has that relationship with Krishna. Not just the material world, spiritual world also. Everything in existence has this eternal relationship with Krishna. That you are one with him and at the same time different from him. So we don't believe that that because of Maya you think you're separate from Krishna. But once Maya is removed, you become Krishna or something like that. That we don't accept. No, none of the Vaishnavacharyas have given credence to this. Ramanuja, Madhva, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, the four major famous Vaishnavacharyas, they always stress the difference between the jiva and God. And that's an eternal. It's eternal. Only when Maya removes her influence, we understand ourselves to be not Soham, but Dasoham. And that's eternal. Krishna's Leela is eternal spiritual Leela, beyond the Viraja, beyond the material world. This is the nature of reality. So we are not interested in, actually we're not interested in religion, we're interested in reality. And this is reality. That everyone is the eternal servant of Krishna. Only we've forgotten that. We just have to wake up to that. But that's a little bit of a bitter pill for us to swallow sometimes. Because, oh, what about me? I have so many things I want to accomplish in the world. And, you know, so many plans that I've got and so many things that I have. What about that? What about that? Yes, this material world's made for that. You can make your own little empire here and try to live separate from Krishna. Try to find happiness separate from Krishna. But how's that working out for everybody? Not so well, I think. So when we understand this truth, that everything is made for the satisfaction of Krishna, then we have to also admit that includes us. We are meant to satisfy Krishna. That's why we exist. It's a very plain truth. We are meant for him. When we accept that I am meant for him, then our real life begins. That's the beginning of the awakening of your spiritual identity. Krishna doesn't exist to fulfill your plan. You exist to try and fulfill his plan. And okay, we may think, oh, well, what can I do for Krishna? But that's why you exist. And that's the whole magic of spiritual life, is trying to find out what that means to you. Because what it means to you and what it means to me may not be exactly the same. Principle's the same. I'm meant to satisfy him. But in which way am I meant to satisfy him? This is where we need Guru. Guru can help us to understand that. And not just any guru, but must be Vaishnav guru. And that guru must be pure, must be proper guru. They can help us. And Guru Maharaj says, we have to enter into the land of gurus, where everyone is our guru. Means in the spiritual world, everything is more than us, and everything is meant for Krishna, and they will help us in our understanding of our service to Krishna, our service propensity, our service proclivity, what it is we can do for Krishna. And it comes in, that revelation comes to us in stages. It's not that you just wake up one morning and you know. No, step by step by step. As your consciousness becomes purified, your inner self starts to manifest. When that inner self becomes fully manifest, and you can say you're in Krishna consciousness. That's called Sarup Siddhi. It's a very high position in spiritual development that is given by Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Starting with Ado Shraddha. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajana Kriya Tata Nista Tata Anartha Nibriti Nista, and so on, going up to Bhav, Mahabhav, Krishna Prema, these things. Step by step by step. But first is Ado Shraddha. Shraddha, you have to have faith. And faith means not just like, oh, my faith is Hindu faith, your faith is Christian faith, your faith is Islam faith, or not that kind of faith, but means some acquaintance with reality. Because even Christians and Muslims, they are also eternal servants of Krishna. They just don't know that. They just don't know that. They maybe they're calling God Jehovah or Allah, but Allah, Jehovah, that is Krishna, actually. Gurudev would say, yes, Krishna may be Allah, but Allah can never be Krishna. Why? Because what is the conception, right? Allah means the conception of God Almighty. But it's a very harsh conception. You don't obey the rules, then we'll chop your hand off. Or, like something like that, isn't it? I saw this documentary about life in Afghanistan under the Taliban. Again, it's under the Taliban, but this is the first time, right? So there, you can't do anything, right? Then one man, the reporters undercover, and they go to this place, is called the House of Correction. And in the House of Correction, they have all these prisoners there, and they're asking the officer in charge, so what have they done wrong? And he's telling, this man was arrested for giving his brother's wife a lift in his car. That means he's alone with his brother, another woman that's not his wife. That is punishable, but it's his brother's wife. No, punishable offense. Okay? What's the punishment? 100 lashes. They will both get 100 lashes. Oh, seems a bit extreme. Okay. What's this man's offense? He trimmed his beard. Oh, that's a punishable offense. What will be his punishment? 100 lashes. Almost everything was 100 lashes, right? These people, they were taught teaching their daughters, giving their education, secret education to their daughters. 100 lashes for that. Then so many. And then they have these guys that work there, like police, drive around in a Jeep on Friday and arrest anyone on the street that's not at the mosque. because on Friday you have to go to the mosque, right? Then not at the mosque, arrest them, 100 lashes each, you know. Then never mind, like, why were the guys in the Jeep not at the mosque? But anyway, everyone that's getting 100 lashes, except there's one man, he's in the cell by himself. What's his crime? His crime is he's apostate. If you don't know what that means, apostate means he's lost faith in his religion. He's lost faith. He has no faith in Islam. Oh, then they ask him, what will happen to him? Some imam will come and preach to him and bring him back to the... No. The penalty for apostasy is he must be stoned to death. I said, oh, okay. Isn't there anything you can do? No, only stoning to death. That's the only acceptable punishment for that. All right. So this is the concept of Islam, of Allah. I don't mean to say, it's Eid today, isn't it? And a lot of Muslim people, but the majority of Muslim people, they're just ordinary people like you and I, trying to make their way in the world. But this conception of Allah, a very strict conception, even more strict than Narayana Vaikuntha. Then, so Gurudev said, yes, Krishna may be Allah, but Allah can never be Krishna. Because Krishna is very merciful and soft-hearted. And he has so much love for all of the living beings. You cannot give them 100 lashes for trimming his beard. That is not Krishna. So anyhow, everyone is the eternal servant of Krishna, whether they know it or not. But once you accept that, yes, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Maybe I am now covered by Maya, completely covered by Maya, and thinking Maya means misidentification, thinking you're the body, thinking that you're the master of all you survey, or whatever it is you're thinking. That's Maya. Maya means that which is not. So you're thinking that, all of these things that we have to do in the material world, that's who we are. That's who we are. All the political ideals that I hold in me and so many different ideas about life, that's who I am. Right? That over this life and many lives, they've all come together, sanskars, different sanskars, come together, mesh together, and that's who I am now. I'm all of those things. That's basically who I am. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he says, no, you're not that. That all of those ideas, they're just mental mushrooms. It says like mushrooms, the mushrooms, they just grow on the surface of the earth. Like where you see mushrooms growing, they don't have any roots in the earth. Take a bucket of water, you can wash them away. So all these ideas that we have inside us that we think make up who we are, they're just mental mushrooms. And once Krishna consciousness enters into your heart, you won't be able to identify with those things anymore. Opinions and so many things that you held very dear, they're not who you are. They're really not who you are. So Guru Maharaj said, we have to allow Krishna to land in our heart. He said, just like the army lands the navy, or the navy lands the army, we have to allow Krishna to land in our heart. And once Krishna lands in our heart, then anything that's non-Krishna has to leave. Actually, it has to leave. Like when the sun rises, all the darkness has to go. Can't stay any more darkness once the sun has risen. But because of Maya, we build up many walls around our heart. We don't want Krishna to enter in there. We're very attached to all these things that we've cultivated in there. But Guru Maharaj says, but Krishna is a thief, and a thief doesn't require an invitation. In the dark of night, he finds his way in. He'll find some way in for his own purpose. And then once he's come in, then it's all over. It's just a matter of time. So Rupa Goswami, he's written, if there's anything that you're really attached to in this material world, anything, anyone that you're really attached to, then my advice to you is, don't look at that boy that stands on the banks of Keshi Ghat in that threefold bending form, holding a flute to his mouth, whose eyes resemble lotus petals. Don't look at him. Because once you've seen him, then everything else will become like rubbish to you. Everything that you thought was precious in this world, compared with that boy, will become like rubbish. It's inevitable. So better not to look at him at all. But I'm afraid to say, it's too late for all of you. You already saw him. Then it's just a matter of time now. He will claim you. He will take possession of you and make you his servant. Because this is his nature. He is Bhagavan. And Bhagavan, normally we understand, right, the meaning of the word Bhagavan, who's full in 6 opulences, right? That's how it's given. But Jiva Goswami, he's given another explanation, a deeper explanation of the word Bhagavan. And it comes from the root Bhagyavana Guna Vishishta. And that means that whoever comes in connection with him, the only real response is they must give themselves to him. There can't be any other response. This is Krishna. Of course, sometimes Lord Shiva is called Bhagavan. Sometimes Narad is called Bhagavan. Higher souls, devotees, they're called Bhagavan also. But not this explanation of Bhagavan. This only applies to Krishna. Krishna, Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavan. That is Krishna. And which Krishna? Because there's Bhagavad Gita Krishna, there's Mathuresh Krishna, there's Dwarakesh Krishna, there's many different forms of Krishna that he takes. They're all Krishna, but different in different aspects of him. So Jiva Goswami says Swayam Bhagavan Krishna means Krishna of Vrindavan, when he's in Vrindavan. And more than that, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna means when he's with the gopis, enjoying the Rasa Lila. That is Swayam Bhagavan. But more than that, when he is at the side of Srimati Radharani, then he is Swayam Bhagavan. All the other cowherd girls, they are also dancing Rasa with Krishna. And they are all thinking, Krishna dancing only with me. But that's called Swayam Prakash. That means another manifestation of Krishna. But only Swayam Bhagavan is with Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani. So she is Mahabhav Sarupini. Krishna is Rasaraj, she is Mahabhav. When they are together, this is called Adagyan Tata, the supreme absolute truth. Predominating and predominated moiety. Moiety means half. So 2 halves of the one absolute whole. That is Radha and Govinda. There is no higher conception of divinity than that. Radha and Govinda. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, which our Guru Maharaj said the greatest literature ever to have manifested in this world, by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. If you read that in the Madhya Lila, you will come across a conversation between Mahaprabhu Lord Chaitanya and Rai Ramananda. And that is known as Ramananda Samvad. There you will find what is the highest expression of Krishna consciousness. And there, Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda many questions about what is reality, what is Krishna consciousness. And he comes to this conclusion. Radha and Govinda, they are the supreme absolute truth. And many stages up to that realization. Then he says, then Mahaprabhu says, is there anything more than this? He says, yes, there is more, but you won't find it in any scripture. It is my own conception. Mahaprabhu says, what is that? And Ramananda says, Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. That Radha and Govinda combined as one has manifested in the world as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu put his hand on Ramananda's mouth. Oh, this is too much. But then he showed that it is so. He showed himself to Ramananda as Radha and Govinda. And Ramananda fainted. And after again regaining his consciousness, he saw that young sannyasi sitting by the river, waiting for him. This is what the mission of Krishna consciousness has come to give to the world. We consider it to be the highest thing ever. And of course every religion says that their idea is the highest one. But okay, we don't have any axe to grind. I wasn't born as a Hindu. Then why do I say that? I could say, oh, Christianity, highest conception. I was born as a Christian, used to go to church with my mum and dad and everything, but that resulted in me becoming an atheist, actually. As I asked the priest, like, why is somebody born with, everything? They're born in a family of, rich people, and they have everything in their whole life, never have to worry about anything. And then someone else is born, they don't even have a bowl of rice to eat. Why is that? That doesn't seem a very equitable thing if God is all loving and all merciful to everybody. And his reply was, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. And I thought, well, maybe it's a mystery to you, but it just sounds like nonsense to me. As they don't accept reincarnation or anything like that, which is the only thing which explains that. Oh no, it's a mystery. And I just thought, oh, this is all nonsense. And so I just thought, oh, there can't be any God. Only a really cruel God would arrange things in that way, wouldn't he? I don't want anything to do with that kind of God. But then after looking for many things, I came across the books of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. My English teacher at school, she gave me my first book about Krishna. It was Sri Ishopanishad by Srila Prabhupada. She gave me 3 books. One was Zen Bone, Zen Flesh by Alan Watts. And another was called Be Here Now, which is by Ramdas, Baba Ramdas, Richard Alpert. He was one of the people who discovered LSD in the 1960s. I liked that book. But Ishopanishad, when I started reading that, as I turned every page, it was like just resonating with my heart. Yes, this is sense. This makes sense. This is true. You know, like there were just so many statements that I couldn't deny. And I had to search that out. What's this all about? And there my questions were answered. There are lots of other questions that raised, but still, the main questions I found answered there. Then it's not sectarianism to say that Krishna consciousness is the highest thing. This is just a fact. And if anybody else says that their religion is higher, then convince me. I'm open. Because like I said before, I'm not actually interested in religion. I'm interested in reality. And that we find there. Reality. And not just reality. You know, Guru Maharaj, he had his particular take on that. But, you know, people say, you need to wake up to reality. The harsh reality of life. Sonny Jim. And, but Guru Maharaj doesn't say harsh reality. He says, search for Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful. We can prove that reality is beauty. Beauty, love, charm, ecstasy. These are the things that everybody hankers for. Maybe they can't put a label on it. But everybody's looking for that. Everyone, you know, in the pub, in the nightclub, in the shopping mall, everyone's there looking for these things. Love, harmony, beauty, sympathy, ecstasy. They don't know where to find that. But we know where to find that. And we're very fortunate. But we also think, I remember thinking that when I found this, I was so excited about this. I wanted to share with all my friends. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. What are you talking about? Hare Krishna, doesn't that mean you can't drink beer anymore? Yeah, it does, yeah. And, doesn't it mean that you can't eat meat anymore? Yeah, that means that, yeah. Does it mean this? Doesn't it mean... Why would you want to do that? I can't really explain why, but I'm irresistibly drawn to it. I can't explain it.
Search for nectar.
Yeah. And, that was somebody said to me, I was trying to explain to one of my friends. I said, when you have a taste for something higher, the lower things, they lose their attraction. You don't feel any satisfaction in those lower things anymore. He said, you can enjoy the lower and the higher together. What's the problem? Have them both. It's just nature, right? It's just nature. When you eat something, once our Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, he was at a interfaith conference, and there was some other preachers there from India, and they were asking how does it feel when you're enlightened? And this man's reply was, when you have spiritual satisfaction, you become silent. This was his answer. When they came to Sudhir Goswami, they asked him, same question. He said, well, I don't wish to disagree with my learned friend over there, but my experience is when you have something wonderful in your life, you want to share that with others. You want to tell others about it. What you can say, oh, I've just eaten this cake, it's the best thing ever. You've got to try it too, it's fantastic. That's how it is. That's reality, isn't it? When you've experienced something wonderful in your life, you want to share that with others. And Krishna consciousness is the most wonderful thing that I've ever found in my life. I want to share that with others. But they just look at you like you're crazy. What? What are you talking about? But, give it a try. Give it a try. And Srila Prabhupada, I was listening to a talk of his recently, and there he said, for so many lifetimes, you have tried to make some arrangement for your happiness. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And my request to you is, just this one life, give for Krishna. Just give this one life for Krishna. Be serious about your spiritual life. And you can be serious about your spiritual life. You don't have to, take sannyas or anything like that. Just move towards Him. Move towards Him. Try to go to Him. He'll make the arrangements for you. When you ask Krishna, please help me, and you sincerely want that, please give me your connection, then He will make that arrangement. We know that to be true because so many of our friends have that experience in life. I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what my life was, but I prayed, if there's anything real there, please show me that. And then, the next day they meet a devotee, or they get a book, or something. Krishna arranges it. When you're ready, Krishna arranges everything for you. Wherever you are, whoever you are. Because Krishna consciousness is not just Sanatan Dharma, it's Jaiva Dharma. It's the religion of the soul. And it's for everyone. Yes, it comes from India, it's the gift of India. No problem with that. But it's not just for Indians, it's for everybody. Otherwise, how could it be Sanatan? Then everyone knows, right? Bengali people, they know Subhash Chandra Bose, right? He's the freedom fighter. So he came to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he asked him, please give some men from your mission to join my army to fight for independence from the British. And Saraswati Thakur's reply to him was, and if I dedicate my life to fighting with the British, when I die, maybe I'll be born in Britain and have to fight against India. Have you ever thought about that? And then Subhash Chandra Bose, he said, I never heard anything like this before. And I'm too much committed to my cause, but I won't come to ask for your men anymore. So it is for everybody. And it is a prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that the intelligent men and women of this world must come to embrace this conception, this religion of Sri Chaitanya Deva, religion of love, as the answer to all the problems of the world. We believe it. Seriously, we believe that. Hare Krishna. So, now it's time for Arti. Unless anyone has a question. Hare Krishna. Yes, please give me a question.
Why can I consider feminine?
Because she's a goddess. Why are you considered feminine? Yeah, because you're a girl, right? That's why a Maya is a goddess. She's feminine. It's no more than that. But she is the consort of Shiva, and Shiva represents the ahankara. That means the false identification of the male. So sometimes you may see there's in Bengal particularly, you'll see Lord Shiva lying on the ground and Ma Kali standing on his chest. Have you seen? This represents Maya subduing the Jiva soul. He's meant to be her master, but in this situation, she's the boss. She's in control. So the Shiva is the Jiva in his liberated state, and she is the Prakriti, the mother of this material world. It must be feminine, because mother is always feminine, isn't it? So This has been described in Brahma Samhita. Have you heard of Brahma Samhita? Brahma Samhita is the prayers of Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. And in there it's explained that when the material world, when the universe is to be created, so the engineer of the material world, that's Lord Brahma with 4 heads. He engineers everything. And then Vishnu injects life into the world, the universe. But he doesn't like to directly connect with Maya. So he glances over Maya, and that glance is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the glance of Mahavishnu. And Lord Shiva is the husband of Maya and impregnates Maya with all the living entities. So all the living entities in the world, they're all coming. She is their mother, or the universal mother. So that's why it must be feminine, because mother can only be feminine. So in that way, she is Shakti. In Gita, Krishna says, Daivyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Dharataya. It is impossible for anyone to cross over Maya, because she is Daivi, Daivyesha. That means part of my divine power. Then only if I tell her to withdraw and she lifts her veil over that person can be liberated. But no other way. No, they have to come to me. So all the gods and goddesses, they have some function in this world. But just like men and women have different functions in this world. Men can't have children. But that's the exclusive domain of the women. So as the mother of the universe, she must be female. Do you understand? That's the answer. Okay?
It's very difficult to keep away from Maya.
Yes. And not very difficult, impossible. Impossible. You see, when you see the Durga Devi, Durga also means prison. She's the prison warden. And you see, she sits on her tiger and she has 10 arms. In each arm, she has a different weapon. Those weapons are meant to keep us subdued in this material world, so she can control all of us. But she doesn't need any weapon. She only needs to lift her eyebrow, and immediately we're captivated by her. We become her slave. Yes, whatever you want, we will do.
Durga Devi is Maya Devi.
Yes, Durga and Maya, same, just different manifestation. They're Shakti of the Lord. That is Durga, Kali, Maya, and so many, Devi, so many different manifestations. But they're all Shakti. And Krishna is Shaktiman. They are all Prakriti, and he is Purusha. Prakriti and Purusha. Not only that, the goddess, but we are also Shakti, or Prakriti. Even the men, we are all Prakriti by nature. Because Krishna is the only Purusha. Even in the spiritual world, he is the only real enjoyer. And every other male there, they are for enhancing his enjoyment.
In Guru, they used to go for collection. They go Kali, Calcutta. And they asked Guru, why are you collecting for Krishna? He said, because my Guru is Krishna. I collect for Krishna.
Yes. Yeah, that's once when he was going for preaching, he was staying at the house of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He was a householder then, Abhay Charan Dey. He was a chemist, and he had a house in Sitakanta Banerjee Lane in Calcutta. And it was a 3-story house. On the ground floor, he lived with his family. On the middle floor was empty. and the top floor was his laboratory, chemical laboratory. So he offered the first floor to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj. You can make a Calcutta branch of your mission here, Chaitanya Saraswat Math. So Guru Maharaj, yes, okay. So Guru Maharaj would come, he would stay with Prabhupada many times. But Govinda Maharaj, he was a brahmachari then, Gorendu brahmachari. And he was also in Calcutta to finish his education. Guru Maharaj chose a Sanskrit professor to teach him Sanskrit. So he was there, so he's living in the house there, and often talking with Prabhupada. And he's going out in the daytime when he's not studying, he's going out for preaching. I mean, he's going around the tea shops and so on and giving out some literature from our mott. Sometimes our literature wasn't available, so then Prabhupada Swami Maharaj, he was making one like hand-printed magazine called the Bhakta Godhead. And he gave it to go. You can distribute this. So Govinda Maharaj was the first distributor of Bhakta Godhead magazine. Anyway, one day he comes back and he said, "Oh, this family, they asked me why you are worshipping Krishna, not worshipping Kalima." In Calcutta, Kalima is everything, right? Then it's her city. Then he said, I didn't know what to answer them. And and then Prabhupada said, you can tell them, it is okay. If you want to worship Kalima, you can worship her. And then when you die, you can live with her in the crematorium. And she can cut off your head and wear it as a necklace, add it to her necklace of skulls. Her children, she chops off their head and wears. Or you can worship Krishna and you can go and live with him in Vrindavan and eat laddu and butter and all these things. Your choice. Which do you prefer? Your choice. This is the answer.
Our Gurudev used to sing one kirtan, Bhaja Hureva.
Yeah.
At the end of the kirtan, last line, it says, Govinda, he used to worship Mother Kali. And then Mother Kali told him that you go back to Krishna if you want to mukti. I can't give you.
Yes.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
some people think, like some people in Bengali,
Yeah.
people like to worship different type of demigods.
Yeah.
So they think they are worshipping Krishna through the demigod. Is it possible? Like, is it same thing, like worshipping Krishna and worshipping Krishna through the demigods?
Well, Krishna says in Gita, answers this question. He says, those who are of less intelligence, they worship the devatas, not knowing that what the devatas bestow on them is coming from me. But those who are more intelligent, they worship me directly. But those who worship the different gods and goddesses, I make their faith firm in them, and they can worship them and go to them. But they should know that ultimately everything that they give is only coming from me. So it depends on the person. If person is thinking that their Devata Puja is going to Krishna, that's okay, that's all right. But those who are thinking, oh, if I worship the Devatas, I'll get this, I'll get that, I'll get health and wealth and a cottage by the sea, Om Jai Jagadisha Hari, then that may not be pure devotion. Pure devotion. Then, but we are not disrespectful to the gods and goddesses, because they are, in their way, representing Krishna in the world. So they are worthy of our worship. But to consider them to be equal with Krishna, that is namaparad. But also to consider that they're not connected with Krishna, that they're separate from Krishna, that is also namaparad. So it depends on your vision. You have to have proper vision. And also you have to understand the difference between culture and religion. So, like in Bengal, they have a particular culture. And in that culture, like Durga Puja is like the biggest festival of the year, right? All these things are there. It's a cultural thing. It may not be actually religion. Just like here, we are celebrating Christmas because that's part of our culture, right? I grew up in that. My family, we all come together at Christmas. We have some big feast, not a turkey, but nut roast, prasadam, something like that. And we celebrate Christmas like everybody else here. Every other white English person celebrates Christmas. People think, we can't call it Christmas because the Muslims or the Hindus, or they'll be offended. I've never met any Muslim or Hindu that's offended by Christmas. They also like Christmas. But only maybe Surendra Mohan Prabhu, not so much. I tell you why, because he's a nurse, right? He's a nurse. And every year at Christmas they say, oh, you don't need time off, you're a Hindu. Nothing to you. You don't need to have time off, you can come in. And then they'll say, then when it's Diwali, they say, oh, that's not a holiday. Not in this country. So you can't have that time off either. Anyway, we understand the difference between culture and religion. They're not the same thing. And no harm. But at least some proper perspective is necessary. Yeah. Proper perspective, what is what. And proper perspective means that that we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we are not disrespecting any god or goddess or anyone. But we are not thinking, oh, this is the same. Worship Durga is the same as worshipping Krishna. Worshipping this one is same as worshipping. It's not the same. Because Krishna's to Bhagavan Shayam. That we have to always remember that. And we can celebrate our culture. That's no problem. It is very nice, actually. And I've been in Calcutta when it's Durga Puja. And you cannot believe how wonderful they make all these pandals, and some of them are incredible, really. I mean, and they're just made with cloth and bamboo, and like one year they made one that looks like Harry Potter's Hogwarts, and it was so good that Warner Brothers sent a cease and desist legal. You have to take it down because we did not give permission. Of course, they just laughed at that. Anyway, yeah, the tradition is very nice. Yeah. All over, you see that. The only thing I don't like is the fireworks. So sometimes they're like bombs. They're loud, so loud. I like peaceful things, not so much so. We had one of our devotees, Jai Krishna, remember Jai Krishna? He bought one of those like cherry bombs in the market, and he put it inside a can, and then and set it off in the temple, and in his bathroom there. And I was with Madhusudan Maharaj in his office. We were there doing something, and then suddenly, bang! And we came running out. And he came out, he's like that cartoon character with the burnt hair and the black face. He'd come out like this, his ears are ringing. And he'd blown a big hole in the wall of the bathroom. It had just blown a hole in the wall there. We just looked at each other. Anyway, you know all that, all those things. Yeah, so we are not unhappy if people worship Durga Devi. In fact, Durga Devi says, in Vrindavan I am Radharani. So when we would go, what was that place? Was it Whip's Cross where they have the Durga temple? we went there with Gurudev and he gave a lecture there. But when he bows down to Durga Devi in the temple, he didn't say Jai Ma Durga or Ma Kali. He said Jai Jogamaya. Jogamaya Ki Jai. As in the goddess of Jogamaya, she arranging everything for Krishna's Leela. She is the real spiritual aspect of Durga. And even in Vrindavan, the gopis, they worship goddess Katyayani. She is a manifestation of Devi, and they are worshipping. And it is in Vrindavan, was the custom that young girls worship her for a good husband. But they are worshipping her, and they are praying, "Please make Krishna our husband." So that's okay. They're worshipping to get Krishna. Then one time also Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance, and they're all going crazy, trying to find where is Krishna. Krishna wants to come and see the fun. He made some fun by disappearing. So then he comes as Vishnu with 4 arms. And the gopis, they see him, oh, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, they're bowing down, making some prayer, and then they're saying, "You know everything. Do you know where Krishna is? Can you tell us where Krishna is?" Then Radharani, she came. Then when Krishna, he can show 4 arms, but in front of Radharani, he can't keep 4 arms. 2 arms keep disappearing. Because Radharani, her devotion is so great, wherever she looks, she only sees Krishna. So when she looks on Narayan, he cannot be Narayan in front of her. Drops his hands and only be Krishna. So we can understand. Krishna may be Allah, but Allah can never be Krishna. So even Narayan, Krishna is Narayan, but Narayan cannot be Krishna. In other words, he cannot keep his form as Narayan in front of Radharani. She can only be Krishna in front of her. Hare Krishna. Okay. Now you can do arti. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Sham Sundar Giridhari Jiu Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.